a desperate elderly man rushed into Walmart and asked an employee for immediate help. She took one look at him and quickly refused, telling him, "No way." He was confused and asked why she wouldn't help, and when she told him, his jaw hit the floor. Before we continue, please take some time to subscribe to Dailydose, like, and share this video with your friends. Cecil Rogers, an elderly man from Cincinnati, Ohio, was looking forward to spending time with his family, including his adult grandchildren, at his Elmwood Place home. However, he got an unnerving call. On the other end of the line was Rogers' eldest grandson. A voice comes on and says, "Papa, this is your oldest grandson. I'm in trouble," Rogers recalled. "He said, I hit a woman's car, and she was 7 months pregnant, and they charged me with drunken driving, and I'm in jail," Rogers says he was told before a lawyer got on the phone. Rogers was told that in order to help his grandson, he should go to Walmart and transfer $2,300 to another store, where the lawyer said he would pick up the money and use it to post the grandson's bail in order to get him out. The lawyer assured Cecil Rogers that everything would be okay once he got the money, so the caring grandfather wasted no time heading to his local Evandale Walmart to do as he had been instructed. But things wouldn't go according to plan when he entered Audrella Taylor's line. After withdrawing the funds from an ATM, Rogers went to the cashier to send the money. That's when he came face-to-face with Audrella, who he thought would just do as he had asked. The last thing he expected was to deal with a cashier who adamantly stood in his way and declined the transaction. However, that's what he got. Now, he couldn't be more thankful. Luckily, Cecil Rogers opened up to Audrella about his grandson's emergency. As he started explaining what happened, the cashier quickly put a stop to the transaction. Looking at the desperate elderly man in front of her who was so determined to help his grandson, Audrella immediately smelled a rat. And she was right. Rogers' intentions were pure, but the same can't be said for the caller who claimed to be his grandson. As it turned out, the voice on the phone wasn't Rogers' grandson at all, and the second person who took the line wasn't a lawyer either. Instead, these were scammers who had perfected their craft of preying on the elderly in what's become known as the grandparent scam. He said something about somebody was locked up in jail, he got a call, and he needed to come in to send $2,000. Audrella recalled, "I said, well, I am going to refuse the sender. I'm not going to let you send that money because I think you've been scammed." Audrella further explained that her first clue was that the call was made by the alleged grandson to his grandfather and not to the young man's mother. "Because his daughter hadn't been contacted yet, I felt like if a son was in true need, the mom would have been contacted first before the grandpa would," she explained. So she told Rogers to hold off a minute, calm down, and go call his other family members. She believed he would find out that his grandson was fine, and sure enough, she was right. Rogers' grandson was safe at college. There had not been a car accident, and his grandson was not in jail. The entire call was a scam, with the so-called lawyer convincing Rogers to rush to do the transaction without letting anyone else in the family know, allegedly as to not cause his grandson any embarrassment. The truth is that convincing Rogers not to call anyone else to ask about the situation prevented the older man from discovering the truth. However, thanks to a savvy cashier, he and his wallet were saved. Now the elderly man, who says he doesn't have much, is very grateful that the Walmart employee stepped in to intervene, saving him more than $2,000. Rightfully, Rogers thinks Taylor is a hero, and the Walmart store manager agrees. "We're very proud of Audrella and all of our customer service associates that helped," manager Dominic Gross said, explaining that they now train cashiers on the warning signs that someone is being scammed, including transferring large sums of money or buying large amounts of gift cards, according to WCPO. Sadly, con artists often have an easy time scamming people out of their money, especially the elderly. And there's not always someone like Audrella who takes the time to save a target by gathering information to identify a scam before it occurs. Since not all scams are thwarted by store clerks, this story serves to not only praise Audrella for going above and beyond, but also as a warning to others. It's important for families to talk with their elderly loved ones about these potential scams and to encourage them not to ever feel pressured to transfer money or give up their banking account and other personal information over the phone or email. All it takes is a few minutes to call someone they trust or contact authorities to check up on whether or not a situation is legitimate. Scammers prey on people who are trusting and easily rushed into action without question. Don't let that be someone you care about. This incident is not an isolated case, but part of a growing trend where scammers target the elderly, knowing they are more likely to be trusting and perhaps less tech-savvy. The grandparent scam is just one of many schemes that con artists use to exploit people's emotions and sense of duty toward family members. These scams can be highly convincing, as they often involve personal details that the scammers have gleaned through various means, making the story seem all the more believable. For Cecil Rogers, the experience was a shocking wake-up call. He realized just how close he came to losing a significant amount of money that he likely worked hard to save over the years. The emotional toll of thinking that a loved one is in serious trouble is immense, and it's easy to see how someone could be coerced into acting quickly without verifying the facts. Unfortunately, many elderly people do not have someone like Audrella in their corner and fall victim to these kinds of scams every day. Audrella Taylor's quick thinking and refusal to simply process the transaction without question underscores the importance of vigilance in customer service roles. Her actions went beyond her job description, and she displayed a level of care and responsibility that should be commended. Not only did she save Cecil Rogers from financial loss, but she also potentially protected him from the emotional devastation that could have followed. In a broader sense, this story highlights the critical role that employees in retail settings can play in protecting vulnerable populations. By being trained to recognize the signs of a scam, employees like Audrella can intervene before it's too late. It's a reminder that sometimes taking a moment to ask a question or raise a concern can make all the difference. Retailers and financial institutions should continue to invest in training their staff to be aware of these kinds of scams and empower them to act when something seems off. The broader community can also play a role in protecting the elderly from such schemes. Regular communication with elderly relatives, discussing potential scams, and reassuring them that it's okay to verify before acting can create a safety net. Simple actions like encouraging them to contact a trusted family member before making any financial transactions based on a phone call can prevent these scams from succeeding. In the end, Cecil Rogers was fortunate to encounter someone who cared enough to stop and question the situation. His story serves as a reminder to all of us to be vigilant and to look out for one another, especially for those who may be more vulnerable to exploitation. Audrella Taylor's actions are a powerful example of how we can all make a difference by being aware and proactive in protecting others from harm.